What's up, y'all? This Watch Sheet. We're gonna wrap this up. But first, let's do a little reading. Excuse me. Page 1. Let me close this. Just right now. A lot of fresh air. Page 1. I've spent days with the artifact now, or has it been weeks, months? I can no longer be certain. The others come from time to time, offering fruit or distraction. They say I should separate myself from these studies. Malik has even suggested I abandon them entirely, but I'm not yet ready to turn away. This apple of Eden will be understood, and must be. Is it a weapon? Is it a catalog? Is it somehow both? He who increaseth, increaseth knowledge, increaseth sorrow. The philosopher is such a statement I can understand, but for it to be true, literally true, a society that wage wars with ideas and information in place of steel and swords. Its function is simple, elementary, even dominion, even elementary, even dominion, control. But the process, the methods and means it employs, these are fascinating. Those subjected to its glow and promised all that they desire. It acts as only one thing of a turn, complete and total obedience. And who can truly refuse? It is temptation incarnate. I remember my own moment of weakness when confronted by Al-Mailam, a confidence shaken by his swords. My bad, I was making sure I read that right while I tried to keep reading, that's why. Let me stop it. My confidence shaken by his words. He who'd been like a father was now revealed to be my greatest enemy. Just the briefest flicker of doubt was all he needed to creep into my mind. But I vanquished his phantoms, restored my self-confidence, and sent him from this world. I freed myself. You killed him. But now I wonder, did I really? For here I sit, desperate to understand that which I swore to destroy. This is why the apple has a tale to tell. I sense the flickers of something great and dangerous. We are all at risk. It is my duty to do something about it. I must not, cannot, turn away until I've found the truth. Dang. Page 2. No text data. Zoom to see image. Assassins versus Templars. Damn. They was fucking it up. Yeah. Damn. That's a wild invention. I turned it down a bit. Page 4. What follows are the three great ironies of the assassin order. 1. Here we seek to promote peace, but murder is our means. Yeah, when they did the spiel on inside the tower, I was like, what? And then they branded him. I'm like, the whole point is any entity of fashion or seemingly religion especially today, is tied to somebody's soul ties. They want a quote unquote relationship, a dynamic where the person gives all of themselves to it, a mockery of the one true God. Teach his own what you believe, but this is all the same thing no matter what. It can be any, group or anything of the like, especially in, just our observable reality and cliques and little, sectors and sects of people. Wow. And I'm not judging it, it's hypocrisy, and I'm taught to hate hypocrisy. Say less and do what you have to. It's much harder to slip up that way into hypocrisy. I know it's not simply that, for every person is different, but that's the base. You need a foundation. That should be a foundation. 2, we seek to open the minds of men, but require obedience to a master and set of rules. Right. 3, here we seek to reveal the danger. Here we seek to reveal the danger of blind faith, yet we are practitioners ourselves. That's the ultimate hypocrisy in my book. Respectfully. I don't hate nobody, it's just what it is. I'm like, oh, okay. I have no satisfactory answer to these charges, only possibilities. Do we bend the rules in service to a greater good? And if we do, what does it say of us? That we are liars, that we are frauds, that we are weak. Every moment is spent wrestling with these contradictions. And in spite of all the years I've had to reflect, still I can find no suitable answer. And I fear that one may not exist. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Does our creed provide the answer then? That one may be two things, opposite in every way, simultaneously. And why not? Am I not proof? We have noble intentions possessed of barbaric meanings. We who celebrate the sanctity of life and then promptly take it from those we deem enemies. He's spitting. Whoever wrote that spit. Page 5. Who were the ones that came before? What brought them here? How long ago? Centuries? Millennia? Longer still? So little remains of them. What drove them out? What of these artifacts? Messages in a bottle. Tools left behind to aid and guide us. Or do we fight for control over their refuse? Or refuse, whatever. Giving divine purpose and meaning to a little more than discarded toys. Oh, he's spitting. Oh, he's spitting like Yahushua was spitting in the Bible. He was spitting. This man is plagued, wandering-ish. The difference between Yahushua was he didn't do any wrong. Only spoke the truth, helped people. Whatever people believe, that's fine. But, I try to distinguish myself and place myself right where I need to be. So, others, it just seems like it's more of a question in nature and life itself, and those things are hardwired into the existence. And even if your intentions start off pure with just one question, it always stems to more. So it's more of a peace and bliss. It's not ignorance in knowing your place. So first it behooves you to know yourself, so you don't go to the lengths to understand so much of things that, or before you or after you or however it goes, you know. Page 6. Robert de Salo may be dead, but his brotherhood survives. Though less conspicuous in appearance, I fear they remain a threat. Where once they proudly walked the streets, making for easier targets. Now they retreat into the shadows. It grows difficult to track them. What wicked things will they weave in the darkness? Our work will be all the more complicated for it. Already there are rumors of a movement on Cyprus. I will have to investigate. This made me realize that our tactics must change. It's an end to our fortresses, to our penchant for spectacular displays of public assassinations. The equivalent of a king, you know, putting the spears in the ground and putting the heads of the people they kill, hanging the heads up and all that goofy stuff. You will be the example, so to speak. We must weave our webs quietly. We must do so differently than we have in the past. Though I ask my brothers down to abandon their rituals, I do not ask that they abandon the creed. This is what makes us assassins, not the removal of a finger. Not a well, he didn't lose his finger, thank goodness. Did he? Not a false he didn't, no. That was a joke, though. That was crazy. Not a false promise of paradise. Not the prohibition of poison. Our duty is to the people, not to custom. If we must sneak, we shall sneak. If we must use poison, we shall use poison. He's conflicted, or these are more than one person. If our blades can be used without remove, I think these are more than one people, I believe. I don't know, I gotta figure that out. If our blades can be used without removing fingers, we shall not demand they be taken. And we shall not manipulate our initiates with lies and parlor tricks. We shall speak plainly and honestly. We shall be made anew. But he was getting it at the end. You hear it. Let me run through these. Page 7. Because I gotta wash clothes too. And I'm not trying to seem like I'm procrastinating, but this needs to be done. So do it now. I need to hurry. Go home. Page 7. Sorry, there's a car honking really loud in my ear. Page 7. I had thought Ara would be the one to lead me to rest, that I may lay down my blade and live as a normal man. But now I know such dreams are best left to sleep. Her face. I try to banish it from my mind as I remember the days and nights during which I chased her Templar captors across the sea. I almost got to them in time. Almost. If I had only been faster. Instead, I held her lifeless body in my arms and saw the torture reflected in her fixed, unblinking eyes. I hunted each man, one by one, until all responsible were gone from the world. But there was no joy in this, no satisfaction or release. That's why, in my sense, and what I believe, the first thing you understand, the first commandment, thou shalt not kill, shouldn't know. Because it seems that's the first sin. It's the easiest thing for anybody to do. We're weak, fragile beings, instinctively, by nature we are. That's why we have our minds. Don't split it, don't spare the flesh, don't worry about things will happen to your body, but your mind should be intact and you should pass the word on accordingly. Knowledge. For the sake of your race and your culture, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Bible. It's instinctive, it's DNA, it's down to a molecular structure. It's down to your blood. Do you understand me? Their dreams did not bring her back, did not heal my wounds. After that, I was certain I would never again feel for a woman as I had for her. I'm fortunate to have been wrong. The way he ended that was goofy. Page 8. Why do our instincts incite on violence? I have studied the interactions between different species. The innate desire to survive seems to demand the death of the other. Why can they not stand hand in hand? So many believe the world was created by the hand of a divine power, but I see only the designs of a madman bent on celebrating destruction and desperation. Yes, this is the goal of the God of this world. I pray, in my sense, my context, my world, my contextual view, the one true living God, and the opposition is something that comes from Him. You know, it's just about what you believe, but people have different notions of it, but that's just the way it comes to me. But people will wrap it up as the devil and Satan and all that. Everything still comes from God, so the ruler of this world, the most simplest universal sense of the thing is demigod, demiurge of sorts, or whatever you want to classify it as, but it's just, this thing had more to do with the creation of this world and Adam and Eve's descension, the fall from grace. You don't have to believe these things, but understand and respect what we believe, because we don't disrespect y'all. Just the ignorant of us. Allow us to deal with them accordingly. Say your piece, be kind to one another, and never involve yourself with things pertaining to us. Where our paths align and cross, that's where they need to, but anything else, judge not, lest ye be judged. We mean no one no harm. I come in the name of Yahweh Shai by the power of the Holy Ghost. Our origins seem chaotic, unintended, purpose and being instilled solely by the passage of time. I'm imposed first by nature and later men. Yo, it's either one person or it's a few people, but they all spitting. They all spit. Oh, let me finish. Come on, I gotta get this done. Come on. I'm making good time though. I just gotta hurry up. Page 9. Over time, any sentence uttered long and loud enough becomes fixed, becomes a truth. Provided, of course, you can outlast the dissent and silence your opponents. But should you succeed and remove all challenges, then what remains is, by default, now true. Is it true in some objective sense? No. But how does one ever achieve an objective point of view? Very simple. The answer is you don't. It is literally physically impossible. Nah, it's practical and it's plausible. It's just about you understanding yourself first. People say that so loosely and so as a matter of fact that you miss the point of the simplest things bear the most fruit. It's all there, just in that simple. Don't hate simplicity. God is in the simple, the truth, the directness. There's nothing to be misconstrued about. The only time those things occur, which this man is saying in page 9, is in deceit and lies and jealousy. It's the fear, the desperation of just from page 8, it's the desperation of the thing that makes these things seemingly to be unreachable. But oh, are you wrong? The testament is in the actions and the lives people live. You don't know enough of the world of people to make such an obvious, ridiculous statement. No disrespect to anyone. I don't fight people, I fight the words, the speech, the intention behind it. To be emotional. It just depends on what's the point of these. That's it. There are too many variables, too many fields and formulae to consider. We can try and, of course, we can inch closer and closer to a revelation, but we'll never reach it. Not ever. So I've realized that so long as the Templars exist, they will attempt to bend reality to their will. They recognize there is no such thing as an absolute truth, or if there is, we are hopelessly under-equipped to recognize it. Beautiful, beautiful statement. We are hopelessly under, excuse me. The truth shouldn't be stumbled upon. Take your time. We are hopelessly under-equipped to realize. Start again, because I'm worrying about the time. I feel better. We are hopelessly under-equipped to recognize it. And so in its place, they seek to create their own explanation. It is the guiding principle of their so-named New World Order to reshape existence in their own image. It is not about artifacts. It's not about men. These are merely tools, a means to an end. It's about concepts. Clever of them. For how does one wage war against a concept? It is the perfect weapon. It lacks a physical form, yet can alter the world around us in numerous, often violent ways. It's mockery of the Father. The inconceivable, among other words used. I can't think of them right now because they were thrown on me. So I had to pace myself when reading such words. It was like ineffable words such as that. So, but I understand. And the little things I say it's not to combat the things I read. It's just what I think in my head. It's just for me and the path I walk. My faith has nothing to do with anyone. You cannot kill a creed, even if you kill all of its adherents. Destroy all of its writings. These are a reprieve at best. Someone, someday, will rediscover it, reinvent it. I believe that even we, the assassins, have simply rediscovered an order that predates the old man himself. Sturdy. I wonder if it's... did they put them in some type of order or no? Page 11. Attius, Dionysus, Horus, Krishna, Mithra, Jesus. Similar stories color their lives. Too similar, I think. Divine birthright, persecution, disciples, miraculous acts, resurrection. Yes, not reincarnation, resurrection. How is it possible? We're all different races, different creeds and credos. Everybody won't believe Jesus, like everybody respectfully wouldn't follow Muhammad, or people wouldn't follow Krishna or Horus. You know, or the sun god Ra, or whatever else people follow. That's just what it is. Down to our DNA, most of us will never agree. But harmony is a different thing. How is it possible? Perhaps it isn't. Merely a single story told over the ages. Yeah, you change the story to fit your people, so they find their way to God, the one true living God. That's that goes without race or any of those things. God comes for everyone. He just teaches all of us within our race and culture and families. Your community, this is the person I sent for you to do what I need y'all to do. All the big ones to the rich cultures, thousands of years, disciplined within themselves. They all understand these things. That's why each person, when they're so destitute and separated from their own birthright, they go flocking to others and they damn themselves in the process. It doesn't have to be as literal, but you peep how your life transpires. You're damning yourself, even if you don't agree with how it's being presented on text form, or speech. You're still damning. You're still cursed. You're somewhere you're not supposed to be. You're out of order. You're out of sync. You're out of link. Borrowed, then changed to fit the times, evolving as our tools and language, Old Testament, New Testament show. It happens. Is this tale born of fact or fiction? A bit of both? Could these figures be the same person? Their life extended and transformed by a piece of Eden? Al-Mulam. I'm saying his name wrong, I know I am. Al-Mulam spoke of Jesus as a real person. I know he was. His name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh. Excuse me, either way. That'll be more Hebrew of us. Yahweh. Yahweh Shai. A mortal who had mastered the arts of manipulation. No, he had blind and good faith. It's all you need. Because you understand what you believe in will determine what you do. So the first thing, your foundation should be built off of faith. And what the faith is depends on the person and what they've experienced. Because when people hear about faith, there are different stages in their lives. Life is truly like school. We all learn at our own pace. The life lessons are all learned at their own pace. So you'll never get it when the other person gets it. And sometimes people are confused and annoyed and angry, so they lash out to make it stop because of not being adjusted to comfortability here. But what if he was wrong? The words didn't come from him, so it's not about right or wrong. We all know right from wrong. Or do we? If these men are real, and if they have walked amongst us many times before, does it mean they'll come again? Perhaps they are here now. So many questions, and every day, even more. He's spitting facts. Okay. A dome firmament, alright. Okay, cool. Make it seem like there's anything else. Okay, alright. Do what you want. Ooh, hidden blades. Ooh, the Assassin's Creed. Look at this man jumping on this man. Oh. Page 13, the hidden blade has been a constant companion of ours over the years. Some would even say it defines us. And they would not be entirely wrong. Many of our successes would not have been possible without it. Still, the device has begun to show its age, and so I have been researching improvements beyond ending the need to remove one's finger to wield it. First is the addition of a metal plate that can be used to deflect incoming blades. The other, assassins believe it is forged of a new metal and credit me with the discovery of the formula included on this page. It is better that they not know the truth. I have also worked with Malik to describe new methods of assassination from on high, from ledges, and from hiding places. Basic movements, but critical nonetheless. It's just fit for the times. The third and final improvement is the most important. The provision of a second blade, identical in every way to the first. Should an assassin ever find himself tasked with dispatching two targets, he need only time his strike in such a way that he might reach both at the same time. These blades will be limited in number since the metals with which we forged them remain difficult to obtain. I will need to think carefully about who shall be allowed to carry to. Page 14. Man seeks dominion over all that he encounters, conquering. I suppose it is a natural tendency for us to aspire towards mastery of our surroundings, in a sense. But don't get lost in the world. Don't lose your soul for the world. But this should not include other human beings. Every day more and more oppressed into service, by deception or by force. Others, though not so firmly in prison, are made to feel as if their lives are worthless. I've seen the ways in which men persecute women, heard the cruel words hurled at those who come here from other lands, watched as those who believe or act differently are made to suffer. We discuss such things often, watching as we do from the spires of Masyaf, that we can be done to stop this. What can be done to stop this? To encourage tolerance and equality? Some days we speak of education, believing that knowledge we free. I'm sorry. Someday, let me drink something. Hold on 1 second. Beautiful. To encourage tolerance and equality. Some days we speak of education, believing that knowledge will free us from immortality. But as I walk the streets and see slaves sent off to auction, my heart grows cold. When I see the husband hurl abuses and stones at his wife, insisting she exists only to serve him, my fists clench. And when I see children torn from their parents so that another man might profit, sent off to suffer beneath the desert sun and die, on these days, I do not think that dialogue will make a difference. On these days, I can think only of how the perpetrators need to die. Very well spoken. Maps, Cyprus, Mediterranean. Page 16. The apple is more than a catalogue of that which precedes us. Within its twisting, sparking innards I have caught glimpses of what will be. Such a thing should not be possible. Perhaps it isn't. Maybe it is simply a suggestion, a possibility of a reality. How to know? How to be sure? I contemplate the consequences of these visions. Are they images of things to come, or simply the potential for what might be? Can we influence the outcome? Dare we try? And in so doing, do we merely ensure that which we've seen? I'm torn, as always, between action and inaction, unclear as to which, if either, will make a difference. Am I even meant to make a difference? Still, I keep this journal. Is that not an attempt to change, or perhaps guarantee what I will have seen? What I have seen? Fine. It probably was more further. Page 17. Of all the things I've seen, none troubles me more than the image of the flames. Pillars so tall that they seemed to pierce the heavens. The ground rumbled and shuddered. Mountains split and cracked. Great metal towers splintered, their innards strewn about the ground, and everything there was screaming. A chorus so terrible that even now I feel its echoes still. What is this madness I've seen? Is it them? How I wonder. Those who came before, is this where they went? Into the fire? Into the dust? Perhaps this destructive power is what the Templars seek. That they might hold it over us and command devotion. What hope would we have then if they held such darkness in their hands that they could murder the world? Oh, they just spit. Page 18. We are obligated to hide, to be silent, to shape the course of history in secret. But some of my brothers and sisters disagree. They grow angry and insisting it is a mistake to shroud ourselves. They say it slows our work. But they do not understand the risks. To expose ourselves now would be dangerous, too dangerous. I fear we would be branded madmen and attacked. So it goes. So it always has. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that men do not learn by being told. Instead, they must be shown. Yes, visual. They must make the connections themselves. Yes, allow us to walk our own paths, to be the men that people need. Instead, they must be shown. They must make the connections themselves. If I say unto a man, be kind, be tolerant, be of an open mind, those words will wither and die long before they've affected change. It would be a waste. And so we must maintain our course. Darn! I thought that was paper mache-ish. Thought that was origami-ish. Page 19. Legend speaks of a golden fleece. Could the two be related? I have further refined metallurgic process, allowing for the production of a suit of armor the likes of which the world has never seen. It is possessed of great strength, yet so light as to allow complete freedom. I alternate between wonder and fear. Here we have crafted something that will surely change the face of warfare, making those who wear it nigh invisible. Perhaps it was a mistake to create these pieces. I think it's best to erase the formula. What if it were to fall in the hands of our enemies? The risk is too great. Page 20. I have studied the ancient pagan faiths that came before this more recent obsession with a single divine creature. Everybody wasn't praising fucking we're not doing the creating, we're not doing the worship of objects. We're not. So please, Abraham is what is it, progenitor? Like, we're not, come on. It's just what my cleanse about like we don't. Yeah, I can't be swayed. Is will beyond me. Like that's why I keep my peace. I don't disturb people. I help if I can because my Bible tells so much more of helping the free world instead of just helping myself. So it behooves certain people to follow if it suits them. They seem to have focused more on the fundamental forces at play in the world around us and least on arbitrary moral rules. The sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening. The tides ebb and flow. Grass grows, withers, dies, and then in time emerges from the ground once more. The air turns warm, then cools and back again. Some hidden energy keeps us fitted to the ground and pulls us back when we attempt to leave it. Each of these movements was represented before by a god or goddess. Greek and Roman times, each force given face, but recognizes something distinct and powerful, which is not to say that there were not connections between the forces, not a tether, not something that you know brings it all home. Which is not to say there was not connections between these forces, a pantheon of individual spirits, of rules manifested, personification of rules, invisible hands guiding the process of the world around us. And so here there was an attempt to categorize, study, explain, understand the ways things work, even if it was flawed, but no more. Now we are asked to succumb to a far more simplified explanation. How naive to believe there might be a single answer to every question, every mystery. They want to wander, so wander, but don't besmirch my name. That there exists the lone divine light which rules over all. We come from the light. That's why we tell you that is the one answer. It's just about what you want, what your heart desires. Follow your heart, you should. But don't follow it to the point where you're addicted to it until you cursing others, blaspheming against others. It's bad business. They say it is they say it is a light that brings truth and love and warmth, of course. I say it is a light that blinds us and forces us to stumble about in ignorance. Now, you are ignorant beyond reproach. There's nothing need be done to you. Let you live. You are but a parable among parables, a means to an end. This too shall pass. I long for the day when men will turn away from invisible monsters. Those two things don't go together. And how you describe them based off how other people describe them. That's more of the truth. Warmth and love and truth, faith, light, love, all of those things. I long for the day when men will turn away from invisible monsters and once more embrace a more rational view of the world. But which world dictates more harmonious interactions? And which one begs for more bloodshed? But these new religions are so convenient and promise us terrible punishment should one reject them. I worry that fear shall keep us stuck to what is surely the greatest lie ever told. Fair enough. Damn, they out here crafting. Wait, hold on. Damn. That's wild. One may cultivate extracts from various plants found throughout the region. More exotic species can sometimes be obtained from traders and travelers, but their properties are less documented and require further examination, empirical research, empirical evidence. Traditional alchemical implements can be used to distill the poison. Care should be used as certain poisons can be absorbed through exposed skin. Glove up, wrap up. Many are those who have lost their lives to carelessness. One's blade should be hollowed according to the specifications listed herein. Deviation may create fractures within the metal, causing the blade to weaken and possibly break. I'm not saying weathers over time. Mm. It's not a plant that's supposed to sustain wear and tear. Page 22. Mm. What to make of this map? It appears to contain the entire world, not flat as they claim either, but round, like a ball, like a circle, like the apple. But how is such a thing even possible? Stranger still are the lands that show. He is losing his goddamn mind. Great patches of the unknown. They're unexplored. So many places yet to be undiscovered. And it's not a knock to him. I appreciate that man, but he is going through something. Being lost in it. Addicted to it. Are there men there? Are they like us? And if not, different how? I should like to know the answers. Perhaps in time I'll have the chance to travel, to chart a course and make my way to these distant lands. His heart is aching for the world. Killing it. Look at that. Look at that leg movement. No text. Alright, I know. No context. You just showing me that and shit. Fuck it up. Page 24. Some days I miss my family, or at least the thought of them. I never knew my parents well. Despite them both having lived within these walls, it was our way. Perhaps they were sad, though they showed no sign. It was not allowed. For my part, so much of my youth was spent in training, there was little time left to reflect upon the separation. And so when they were finally lost to me, it seemed no different than the passing of two strangers. Al Malam had been as my father, and his was a weak and dishonest love, though at the time it seemed enough, better even. Or so I thought. Someday I will have a child, such is the way of our order, and I will not make the same mistake, nor any who call themselves an assassin. We shall be allowed to love our children, and in turn to be loved. Al-Malam believes such attachments would weaken us, cause us to falter when our lives are on the line. But if we truly fight for what is just, does love not make such sacrifice simpler, knowing that we do so for their gain? And you get me. Beautiful. I twisted your face. Ah, Templar. Who that? Who that? Who that? I got that flame. I turned you around, lady. Page 26. I have the answer now. I know the truth. I shall not touch that wretched thing again. Best that no one do, now nor ever. I've tried, at least, to destroy it, but it will neither bend nor break nor melt. Oh, the irony. I am certain if I asked, the apple would tell me what need to be done, but even this promise is insufficient. Always it holds one more gift to give. I must refrain, so it shall be sealed. We will take it to the island once there's now ours. There is a treasury there, hidden well, and it shall have to suffice. Risky to separate myself from the artifact that others may discover it. Riskier to still keep it close. In time, I will be tempted. I am weak. We all are. Who wouldn't be? Oh, the things I've seen. The tale is here. Inside the text. Not between the lines, but beneath them. Where only our eyes might pair. Go and see it for yourself, that you might succeed where I and the others have failed. Time marches on. bringing with it new discoveries and developments, and so at least one day the doorway might be opened and the message delivered that will have the prophet. Page 27. We are growing larger. More make their way to our fortresses every day, men and women, young and old, from different lands, of different faiths. Each tells a similar story of having discovered the first part of our creed that nothing is true. Too often, though, the revelation undoes them. They lose their morality, certainty, security. Many are driven mad. We must guide them, help them to heal. Their minds must not be filled with more fairy tales, but with knowledge instead. Let them have answers, and let those answers be difficult and complex, such as life. I know y'all are just trying, but when you place a human and burden a human with all this and say that a human is the only answer to any of it, it muddies the water. But if you need a divine presence for whatever it's worth. Page 28. Success. We have found a way to alter the structure of the hidden blade so that it can be used to launch small projectiles. It is capable of grievous damage, even from great distance. I confess the means by which I came about the discovery was risky, to say the least. But I have found that in small doses, with a focused mind, the apple can be used without ill effect. Or so I hope. Weak. The knowledge of projectile combat is not new to us, having been observed amongst our earnest neighbors. But their weapons were much larger and insufficient for our needs. I have now found a way to miniaturize their designs, embedding their fiery weapon into a form that can be worn on the wrist. We have also refined the formula for combustible powder, such that common ingredients might be used. This is a dangerous bit of knowledge, and it is best shared with only our closest allies. Page 29. Dark tide rises to the east. An army of such size and power that all the land is made quick with worry. The leader is a man named Temujin, who has adopted the title Genghis Khan. He sweeps across the lands, conquering and subsuming all who stand in his way. Whatever his motives, he must be stopped. While younger, I might attempt to undertake this work in secret, as I suspect the presence of a piece of Eden. But those days are years gone now. The mantle must be passed. It is time she and I spoke with our sons. We will travel there together, that they may be tested and that this threat might be stopped. Page 30. Soon I shall pass from this world. It is my time. All the hours of the day are now colored by the thoughts and fears born of this realization. Fear death, while death is your ruler. I know that the elements of my body will return to the earth. But what of my consciousness? My identity? That is to say, what of me? I suspect it will end. That there is no next world, nor a return to this one. It will simply be done. Our lives are so brief and incomplete. The cosmos cares nothing for us, for what we've done. Had we wrought evil instead of good? Had I chosen to abuse the apple instead of seal it away, none of it would have mattered. There is no counting, no reckoning, no final judgment. There is simply silence. Yeah. And within the silence is what we're talking about. You think the silence is just nothingness. No, it's not darkness. something else, and darkness, eh? Utter and absolute. And so I have begun to worry. Might there not be a way to stop, or at least delay death's embrace? Surely the ones who came before were not so frail and feeble as we. But I've sworn to be done with the artifact, to not gaze into its core still. Faced as I am with the prospect of my end, what harm is there in one last look?
is a map of the entire world. But there are lands shown here that do not exist.
Apparently they do exist. I imagine they've yet to be discovered. Or rediscovered.
How is this possible?
Perhaps the vault will hold the answer.
Do you see where it is, then?
No. It can't be. The vault. It looks like the vault is in Roma. Then the Spaniard. This is why he became Pope.
Now I understand. It's not the vault alone he's gained access to, but the staff as well.
What staff?
The Codex always spoke of two keys. Two pieces of Eden needed to open the vault. One is the apple.
And the other is the staff. The papal staff is the second piece of Eden.
For years, no, decades, we've sought these answers.
And now, at last, we have them.
But so too could the Spaniard. And if he does, if he finds a way into the vault, its contents will make the apple seem a trifling thing.
I must go to Roma and find the vault. What of the rest of you?
We'll do what we do best. Cause some trouble in the city, giving you the freedom to conduct your search.
Just let me know when you are ready, Nipote.